starting at 0. Right, project hertz rate. And then click on this.
It's like we're getting a veil behind the scenes right now.
Yeah, well, this is normally what I do inside. 13, 14. Record on the video. There we go. We're live.
Oh, welcome back to the Nub. I'm the Merce.
Hey, it's me, Feldman.
And Triple B.
All right, so sorry, threw me way off there. All right, so let's see. I don't quite remember what we were talking about last podcast, but that's okay. That's gone now, and we are here. We got Triple B back with us, so we also are now being able to record our goofy little GIFs or GIFs, whichever you prefer to say. I call them GIFs. So, and we can also post all kinds of fun things like that on there. Real quick, I just want to talk about. I saw today, and I posted it on the Nub. I guess there's a casting call. Let me see if I bring it back up here again for another local movie that's being done. And I'm looking at Ninja Turtles for whatever reason. And it looks like a casting call in Melbourne on Saturday, October 26th and October 27th. It's for the movie The Human Virus. No idea what it's about, but Jake Estrada had invited me to it, so of course, I one of the godfathers of nerddom and bravado, I definitely had to put that on the Nub for everybody. He's also the one that created his own movie, which is Bocus, which is coming out here soon. So, anyways, if you want to be, I don't know if it's an extra or an actual cast member. Let me see if there's any extra information here. The date is subjective. Yeah, I guess there's not a whole lot of information here yet, but I'm sure it'll be for like extras and then parts and bit parts and all that kind of stuff. So, I mean, hey, you might get cast in a movie. Go check it out. And that's what I got there.
I'm gonna post. What day did you post it on?
I think I posted it today. It's on there.
There it is. Okay, sorry. I was just trying to find it to
put in the.
Yeah, this is so great because I know I brought this up, but I can just pull it over in the screen, and now you can see it. It's incredible. It's great. So that's fun.
All right. So we've missed out on having the bearded bard with us, bald bearded bard. Ooh, blah blah blah. Triple B.
The building bearded bard.
The building blocks of bardom.
Of badassery.
Yeah. So what kind of nerdy things have you been up to there, Triple B?
Let's see. Comic book writing. And Warcraft has drug me back in. And I guess that's about it lately with moving and stuff. I've just been writing and playing Warcraft.
Now, are you playing the new? I love that meme. I love that GIF. Are you playing the classic or the original right now?
I wasn't sure I was going to play classic because I thought I've been too spoiled with retail, and I tried classic, and then I was absolutely sure that I was too spoiled with retail, and none of the people I used to play with have come back. So maybe if I had people to play with, I might play classic, but. Like, I miss my mounts and my toys and my pet and my stuff. I've got so much stuff on retail now that I just can't bring myself to leave it all behind and go play classic. So.
I think I've told this on the podcast before, but probably like season 1. But I can't play MMORPGs. I just can't do it. I have a very addictive personality to them. And back in the day, it actually almost cost me my relationship that eventually became my marriage. And now that I think on it, I probably should have kept playing. but yeah, like I don't know what it is. I just can't do it. And I know that they've, because this is back in the days of EverQuest, or as I called it, EverCrack. Back where like a raid would take you like days,
Yeah.
It was like serious, and you had to give a real commitment. At least 8 hours, a day to be in a high level guild. So of course, that's what I was doing, and man, it did not go over well with the woman that I was with at the time. And when I stopped, I actually went through withdrawals. Like I would have nightmares. Well, not nightmares. I have dreams about playing it and nightmares about losing like my stuff and just it was just horrible. I was an addict, you know.
Yeah, well, it's all about that dopamine. You know, you start going through dopamine withdrawals. Your brain's like, hey, give me that, give me more of them quests.
Yeah,
right. Yeah.
Hey, you guys got any more of them quests? But yeah, I was definitely addicted to that stuff. So yeah, I can't do that. I can't do the MMOs. And again, now that I'm trying to write and everything like that, I just don't have time for a lot of video games. The Switch has become my best friend. My fiance got me, was it Final Fantasy X, and then 10-2, and also Final Fantasy 8 and Final Fantasy 7, all that stuff, So I've got those on my Switch, and that's the gaming that I do now.
Nice.
Yeah, I'm enjoying it. I hope that some of you nubs actually got in on the Epic Games giving away the Batman games, because that was pretty awesome. Hold on a second. Let me let you guys go. Or let's pause it for a minute. He's trying to call me. Make sure it's not an emergency.
Unpaused.
All right. Sorry about that, guys. We had to pause the podcast for a second so I could take a phone call because I'm a professional. What I am finding is really cool nowadays is I can play almost every Final Fantasy on some kind of handheld, whether it be the 3DS or the Switch. You can play pretty much everything now. So I'm getting to play all those classic games I loved, and then of course we've got the new Final Fantasy remake of 7 coming out, which is obviously not going to be on the Switch. It'll probably, but I mean, I'm still gonna play it. I'll just have to make time for it. Ah, yes, there's the Batman Arkham Collection, and it was also Lego Batman too. There's like 3 of those that were free. So, but it's only for the PC. Just so you guys know, I spent an hour and a half trying to figure out how to put it on the Xbox or the PlayStation. Only for the PC. So you gotta be part of the master race like Felton to play it.
Mm-hmm.
Anyways, speaking of video games and all that kind of fun stuff, what you got for us, the Felton?
Well, this game is for people who are 18 plus.
I do not want to hear about the urine simulator again.
No, it's Borderlands 3.
How much of your life has this eaten up so far?
Oh, Borderlands 3?
Mm-hmm.
Not a lot. Yeah. I've been working so much, I haven't really had a chance to play it. On my second job I have, I'm actually a handyman, and I fix things at my girlfriend's house. So
well, let's be honest. You're a handyman stripper, so.
Well, yeah. Well, that's my third job. But yeah. So I haven't really had much of a chance. I think I'm like level 14 or 15. I don't know.
Okay.
So I really
how many walking guns have you acquired?
The guns can walk?
I guess that's what I was reading while I was doing research to write a article about it before I decided not to write an article about it.
I haven't gotten there yet. That's amazing.
Yeah, I mean, I'm pretty sure that's part of the thing. I don't know if that's
I
somebody's...
think it was in the trailer.
Yeah, I don't know if that's somebody's power.
Walking. Oh, okay. There's a gun that runs and yells insults at enemies.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
It's the insult gun.
Well, that's fun. That's apparently a thing. Okay. All right. Yeah. I'm really not understanding why there's so much hate, other than the fact that people are a little bit butthurt that. Oh, there you go. Yep. Okay, I saw that. Yeah. That's adorable, though.
It is.
Oh my god, its little legs. But yeah, I haven't really had a huge amount of time to dedicate to it because of real life. But what I've seen so far, I don't understand. It's really not justified, the review bombing that's going on. Every company has their own proprietary loader now, so to crap on 2K or whoever is running the show now, just because of that, it's really just kind of silly. You're not going to get your way. Just stop. Enjoy it if you want to play it. It didn't hurt sales. It didn't. I believe it was the one of the quickly rose to like being one of the #1 selling games ever. So.
Yeah, I mean, pretty much everybody I know has it. I haven't, like I said, I haven't gotten it yet because I don't really have a lot of spare time, and especially play on like the PC or the Xbox or PlayStation. I just don't have a lot of time for that. So,
Okay.
I want it really bad.
Yeah,
It's
me too. I'm with you on
already,
that.
It's already surpassed 5 million in sales. 5 million copies.
Oh wow.
So I mean that's absurd. I mean your figures at $60 a pop. Hold on, I'm bringing a calculator. So it's 60. Well, actually, you know what? That's a lot of pennies. So we'll just say 59.99. Okay, times. How many zeros? We got 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Comma there, and there's a comma there. So, oh boy, that's a comma. That's a comma. So if I'm right, that's almost $300 million in sales right now.
$300 million.
Yeah. And okay. Oh my God. 70% of those sales were digital.
Oh wow.
So they had no overhead on the distribution of 70% of their sales. That's
Wow, that's
crazy.
crazy.
Is that across all platforms?
Yeah. So hold on.
I have found that more people are downloading their games more than they're buying them.
I do, yeah.
I was just trying to look up how much it cost to make Borderlands 3. I don't think it cost $300 million.
Probably not.
Yeah, that's basically Epic right now. Yeah, Gearbox. That's them. They're just swimming in the money.
That's why they're like, you know what? You can have some free Batman games. It's okay.
Oh, they hit it with this one.
That is awesome.
Well,
I mean, I'm happy to see that.
Well, good for them. You know, I mean, it proves that gaming is still alive. I don't understand the hate. I don't understand. You know, it's absurd to me because why would you want this franchise to fail? This has been something people have loved for years. You know, we had the pre-sequel, which was I didn't have a problem with it. It was a Borderlands game. It was fun, and you know, it was quite big. It wasn't as big as Borderlands 2, but it was still entertaining, and people wanted to crap on that because I don't know why. And why would you want your heroes to fail? Like, why would you want the people that you know that have been producing content for you to fail? That is a very short-sighted way of doing things. But I just think it's just the hate that comes out of being anonymous on the internet that it's so easy to do.
Yeah, we live in a time now where it's the popular thing to hate shit or to you know cause problems or even I know I get on this, but you know to be offended by everything. You know, it's the world that we live in now, and it's difficult. It's very difficult, especially for us older people, where it's like, shut the hell up, you know, like just enjoy it for what it is. If you don't enjoy it, then who cares? Like, don't rain on the parade of other people who are enjoying it, you know?
Yeah. I mean, that's like your kid goes to make you something, you know, a piece of art to put on your refrigerator, and it's not a Picasso, and you proceed to shit on them and yell at them and tell them how terrible it is. You wouldn't do that. So why would you do that to any artist in general? Because a game requires quite a bit of art. So it's like
I would do that.
Well, you did that to me when this is passive aggressive. When I made that macaroni art for you to put on your fridge, you made fun of me. Hurts my feelings.
Yeah. I mean, it is what it is. All right. So, Mr. Bearded Bard, I know you've been busy. Have you? And I know that there was a Kickstarter ban in the Triple B household recently. Has this Kickstarter ban been lifted?
No, but that hasn't kept me off the site.
Well then, do you have a hot dose of Kickstarter news for us? Anything interesting coming out?
I have one here that I think everyone will be interested in. I'll link it here.
What were we calling this segment? Kickstarter Addiction?
I was just calling it a hot dose of Kickstarter, but we can get. You know what? Triple B should come up with the name of it. It's his segment. So.
Oh yeah.
I am terrible at naming things. This is going to be awful. This Kickstarter has got one of the best names for a comic book I've ever read. It's Task Force Rad Squad.
I like the style.
I love it. I love it.
For fans of Power Rangers, Kamen Rider, TMNT, and General Dopeness.
General Dopeness, yes.
Ah.
I love it. And this is a comic book, I take it, right? Yes,
It
a
is.
200-page trade paperback. Wow.
Yeah, collected. Earth's teenage protectors have vanquished evil and are settling into sleep mode until their new mentor inadvertently unleashes a fresh batch of foes, forcing them to gauge evil once again as Task Force Rad Squad. I'm just depressed I didn't come up with this.
My question is, were they Task Force Rad Squad originally, or did they come back as Task Force Rad Squad? Was it before Task Force like Mediocre Squad, but now since they're returning to the field, it's like, you know what, we're rad now. You know, we've got some battles behind us. Like I got to buy this book so I can find out.
Yeah, see,
Exactly,
they were a regular squad before, and they were defeated. So now that they were on their own, they came back as the Rad Squad because they rebranded and got back to their core. Because their hearts weren't in it, Now it is.
Makes
This
sense.
is terribly
Okay.
90s looking. This is, I mean, in all the best ways. I mean that,
Yeah, I was gonna
That
say
looks
like
amazing.
90s. Yeah, 90s necessarily is not terrible. I mean, I noticed that the female character's breasts are not like a third of her body, so
that
you know
definitely
they.
counts against them.
Yeah, well, no, I mean, I'm happy about that because that's the one issue I had with all the damn '90s books back in the day. And Jim Lee, one of my favorite artists, is just as guilty as so many other artists for it.
Absolutely, yeah.
But it's like their breasts took up a third of their body. It was just ridiculous. Like, how can you can't fight like that? You're not evenly balanced. Like, you're gonna be top heavy. You're gonna fall over easily. But I don't know. I guess you don't think about that kind of thing when you're trying to sell books to boys. And now, we're trying to sell books to everybody. I guess comic books are for everybody now.
Oh, that is so ridiculous, Ugh.
Oh, I'm actually glad about that. I really am tired of was it? Oh my goodness, the issues between Comicsgate and what do they call the other side of that coin?
Gamergate?
Help me out here. Help me out here, Triple B.
Gamergate?
What's the other side? What's the other
We
side of that
normally
coin?
call like social justice warriors. Is what I
Yes, the social justice warriors. Yeah, it's like I don't want to talk too much on it because I'm not trying to start a riot or whatever the case may be is. But both sides annoy the crap out of me. Like both sides absolutely just annoy the crap out of me. In my opinion, comic books are already for everybody. We don't need to push one way or the other. We just need to let the creatives create their books. If they come out with a book that's got whatever a strong female lead or a gay lead or whatever the case may be, as long as the story is great, then it doesn't matter. Like we don't need to focus on the person's sexual orientation, their color, and things like that. I know that for the longest time there was underrepresentation in comic books for many different people, and I definitely get that. But I feel like when you force change like that, it seems forced. It looks forced. It comes off as forced, and you lose a lot of great story elements and things like that. I think that what we really need to do is just focus on a lot of these great female writers and great female artists and great gay writers and great gay artists and different black, Hispanic, white, everybody focus on the story that they tell individually, their individual story, not trying to paint on diversity. You know what I'm saying? And
Yeah.
I know that becomes controversial because it starts to go one way or the other. I really don't mean it to be. I don't really fall in either category, whether it be Comicsgate or social justice warriors. I feel like there's room enough in comic books for absolutely everybody. And if you tell a good story, you tell a good story,
I feel that if we had more representation as a whole on the back end of comic books for the writers, the artists, and the editors on that end of comic books, we wouldn't feel as though that stuff is so necessarily forced on the front end. Does that make
Mm-hmm. But the problem is that what's happening a lot of times in comic books now, in the mainstream, is where I need to say actually, is that I see a lot of forced diversity in books that doesn't need to be forced. What they just need to do is they need to go to these artists and writers and things like that who are already putting out fantastic, diverse books and hire them. You know, like offer them a job. You come work for us and create the same great content for the big two or the big three. I see a lot of like Brian K. Vaughan. Obviously he's worked for the bigger books and things like that too. But he writes diverse books, but without like being aggressively in your face about the diversity. They're just that's just the way the characters are. You know what I'm saying? Like if this character is gay, it's a gay character. He's not putting a big spotlight on it. Like, oh my God, this is a gay character. You guys have to get behind this character. It's just the character. I don't know.
Well, that's just good writing. That's good writing. You have a character, and basically, as long as you're writing a character as you normally would, like let's say you have a gay character, but you're writing that character, and them being whatever status is not the central identity of that character, because what a lot of what I think what you're focusing on and having an issue with, and I've seen it a lot, is the forced identity politics inside media masquerading as representation. And a lot of the time it's my understanding that these groups being represented don't want that. They want characters that, exactly like you said, that are being developed, and yes, they can have this identity. However, that needs to be a secondary part of their character. Ben Aronovich in the Peter Grant series of books did a fantastic job of that. He's had several secondary characters, primary characters throughout the series of books that have been gay, and you might not even find out about it until one of the detectives in there is like, oh yeah, my husband and I, blah blah blah, and he's talking about the wedding or something like that, and you're like, oh wow, that's really cool. Story. Yeah, absolutely. And then that Detective Blake is gay, and well, that's really cool. Like I don't know.
Yeah. That's what I'm getting at. I hate bringing this stuff up because sometimes I feel like people latch on to just a part of what you're saying and not the whole conversation. And it makes it like awkward. Makes it where people get like they because some people get set in their they get set in this one frame of mind where it's just like they plant themselves and they're like, no, absolutely, absolutely not. This is my viewpoint, period. And they don't allow somebody to come with a different point of view that's not necessarily arguing with them. Like I'm not arguing with either side. I refuse to argue with either side because I just don't want to get involved in that kind of thing. Especially trying to become a comic book writer. The last thing I want to do is be labeled as a Comicsgate guy or a social justice warrior kind of person. But I want my characters to be three-dimensional. I want my story to be just I want it to flow. I want it to sound phenomenal. In my comic book that's coming out, majority of my characters are either minorities or women or whatever the case may be is, and when I was creating their character, I didn't think about, I need to put this person in to represent this, and I need to put this person in to represent that. I just thought of, the character itself, how I saw the character and how I wanted the character to be in my book. And so, when mine comes out, you'll see that I have a decent amount of diversity in my book. And who is breathing into the microphone like?
Oh, it must be me. I must have been hitting it. Sorry.
It's okay.
You know what it reminds me of?
What's that?
Just a lot of these people when they're ranting about this stuff and, oh, we need to have more of this and that and the other. It just reminds me of the kids on the playground that were like, I don't like your character or you're not playing the game right. And they just quite often come off as being whiny. It doesn't serve any purpose. They're whining that you're not playing the game right, and it's just it's just people trying to control other people.
Mm-hmm. And I get that too. Again, I feel like Triple B was saying that there has been underrepresentation far too long. You
Oh,
know,
absolutely, yeah.
and that we need more of that representation. In comic books, of course, but it needs to be natural. We need to, instead of taking the lion and putting him in a cage. You know what I'm saying? Where you're trying to reach this certain goal of whatever forced diversity or whatever the case may be is. We need to take that same lion and put him in a preserve. Where you could probably see him. You can see him in his natural habitat and see what develops that way. Maybe I'm
Right.
just talking. Sorry, go ahead.
And I think a lot of that, what I was trying to get at earlier, was that it would come across more naturally if we had more diversity on the back end of comic books. When
Hmm.
you've got a bunch of old white guys trying to be diverse, then it comes across as very forced. Like
Yeah.
where the conflict comes is when, like, going back to Borderlands and people complaining about not liking some of that and going against the company. If you don't like it, don't buy it. And if the money isn't there, it won't continue. If it really is forced diversity, it really is that bad, it's not going to make money, and they'll cancel the book. If it is
I
making
I
money, shut the fuck up
I
and move on.
know I know you say that, but I mean you've seen what's happened with Marvel, right? Like they've had the Captain Marvel book fail how many times? And it doesn't do well, and then it fails, and then they start it over, and they keep trying to push that book, and that becomes annoying to me just because there are so many great female characters in the Marvel universe that they could really focus on and give like a really good book series to. Give a great writer a chance to really just explore those characters so much more, and they're stronger characters. They are much more three dimensional. Like Storm, for instance. My absolute favorite Marvel character is Storm, female Marvel character is Storm. Right? I mean, if imagine if somebody went and gave her, she's had a couple of like miniseries and things like that, but I would love to see her have like a regular monthly book, and you really get to see Storm develop. Get to see more of her, and follow her struggles and stuff a little closer. She's a very strong woman. She was worshipped as a god, and back in the day. I mean, like she's led the X-Men many times. She's honestly one of my favorite. She is my favorite
Do
female
you
character.
do you know what happens
I don't want to hear it. No, we're
when
not talking about. We
lightning
talked about this.
when
We talked about
when
this
lightning
last.
strikes the
Nope.
frog?
When lightning strikes a
The
toad.
toad, the same thing that happens to everything else.
But see there's my point right there. There's there's my point right there. Like Sony had the perfect opportunity. They had Halle Berry playing Storm, right? You're thinking, oh my god, like if you're a Storm fan, you're like, this is fantastic. And then she gets like a few lines in the whole movie, the first X-Men movie, and one of them is the crappy line of, "Do you know what happens when lightning strikes a toad? Same thing that happens to everything else." Like that's a horrible line.
That
That's
was
terrible.
truly awful.
It's
But
terrible.
like the Captain Marvel thing, it goes back to money. Those first few issues, she's got a strong following, and that first issue keeps making them money, so they keep rolling the dice on it. And
Yeah.
it's that forced diversity. So it doesn't do well in the long run, but they keep rolling the dice because she's got such a strong following, and people want the book to do well. So every time it gets rebooted, they're like, okay, and they rush out to buy that first issue, and they're like, oh no, we don't actually want to read this.
Well, and I know that this is forced diversity as far as she's concerned, for the simple fact that a lot of these fans don't actually know the story of Miss Marvel, Captain Marvel, and all that kind of stuff. They don't know the type of character she is or the type of character she's been. So they're just backing this strong female character, and I get that, because you want your Wonder Woman of the Marvel universe, but if you want a Wonder Woman of the Marvel universe, you have to look to Storm or She-Hulk or these characters who have had these like strong developments in strong story arcs in the Marvel universe. In my opinion, that's just my opinion.
You know,
I
oh, sorry, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
I was gonna say, you want a great game with a well-written story with a strong female lead. You could go ahead and purchase Control from the Epic Game Store. Jesse
I'm hearing
Faden is a
game,
great character.
I'm hearing that game is fantastic.
It is absolutely phenomenal. The actress that they hired to play the main character is absolutely phenomenal. Her it's not quite a noir commentary that she gives. She just there's a lot of internal monologue and her talking throughout the game. But I'm so into it. She's awesome, and none of it. It's just a great write. But that's Sam Lake. He's an incredible writer. I mean,
yeah. Well, I think we're out of time for this one. We got a little political on this one. I apologize. This just grinds my gears sometimes. So, Mr. Triple B, you haven't been with us a couple of casts, so I'm going to have you roll the die this time. Who would you like to roll to add or subtract or do nothing with to your roll?
How about you?
All right. I got my die right here. I rolled a 15.
ooh.
I'm going to hold on. I'm going to add the 15 to your roll. We're going to add the 15 to your roll.
I got
You
a
got a
5.
Oh,
5.
that's a 20. So you get to pick either myself or Felton to tell a terrible, terrible story about themselves.
Oh, I guess it's difficult. Let's go with Felton.
God.
It's because we just know that you're full of really terrible stories.
I don't even have to dig very deep for this because this just happened today, and it's going to be a potty story.
Oh, I love the potty stories.
So, I had to come in because there was an incredible disaster at work, so I came in at 3 in the morning, and, that was great. My whole day, my whole schedule was just completely flipped upside down. Yep, just about. Thank you for the visual aid.
You're welcome.
I'm training somebody right now, and all this stuff is going on. So I've just had a crazy day. Haven't really had time to eat. So we stop at. I'm not very smart, by the way. Let me just preface this whole story. So we go to Publix and grab a couple of subs, and they've got this new Orlando City soccer sub, and I'm like, well, I gotta support the Orlando City soccer. I've never even watched their game, but I just know everyone loves supporting it, so I'm just jumping on that bandwagon. And honestly, it had spicy hummus, whatever, cucumber, avocado mayo, chicken tenders, and oh my god, it just sounded great. So I thought, this is awesome. All right, let's get that. And my guy, he's like, oh yeah, I can't wait. Let's get subs, pub sub. So we get there, I get it. The girl, she is an absolute just artist making this sandwich. It looks like a TV commercial when she's making it. This girl is incredible, okay? Makes a great looking sandwich. I tell her that she is sandwich artist of the year. I always make dumb jokes with cashiers and stuff, so that's fantastic. Probably is annoyed with me at that point. I go in and eat it. It's absolutely delicious. I got the spicy hummus on it, the chicken tenders. Oh man, it's a great sandwich, right? So that was a good way to get past my issue coming into work early. So we go back to the office. We got to finish paperwork, and then my boss comes in. And he's like, "Hey, we got leftover food. There's stuff out in the fridge out there." So I go, "Oh, okay. Well, let's go check it out because it's lunchtime now, right? That was breakfast." So I go out there, and there's a big old tub of meatballs. And I'm like, oh, fantastic. So I grab some meatballs, he grabs some meatballs, and this is great, awesome. So I microwave that, sitting down in the office, getting the paperwork done, eating some meatballs, and about 15 minutes go by. And my God, I got that, cold sweat of whew, I need to sprint to the bathroom. I don't know if it was the hummus being spicy or the meatballs just being the meatballs.
Meatballs.
But that spicy hummus and meatball slurry was definitely it was bad. I burst a hemorrhoid, and my ass was bleeding. I'm not even going to sugarcoat it. I almost died. Almost had to call the fire department. We got a lower GI bleed over here, you know. Oh, no, it's just his hemorrhoid. Hey, say, it's just his hemorrhoid. He doesn't need to be transported. He's fine. Give him the
Sure he doesn't need...
Hey,
are you sure he doesn't need fluids?
Get the Prep H ready. We're just gonna give him the cream. Sir, bend over. We're gonna give you some Preparation H cream that'll help with your hemorrhoids. So, you know,
I hear it's good on the whole.
Yeah. I heard somebody say that they used Noxzema. They just would take the Noxzema bottle and squirt it on there, and it would burn for a couple of seconds. But then, like, that would make those hemorrhoids shrink. I don't think that's a good idea. Like, I don't think you should listen to that. So yeah, I almost died yet again today because of spicy hummus and meatballs.
I just love it. I'm gonna die, I think.
Yeah.
Oh man. So with that being said, I think we can put this one in the old canister, as it were. Let's go ahead and log off. I'm the Merce.
It's Felton.
And the bald bearded Barney.
And we'll catch you guys on the next one. Don't forget to like and subscribe.